man, me, Ryan Cox, I got it all. I'm living big, got money, a wife, 30 kids, living it up in Boston. But I really do wish I knew more about the Boston Molasses flood of 1919. Where am I? What is molasses?
Molasses is actually from the refinement process of cane sugar um, or sugar beets, and can usually be pretty tasty. Big Ryan.
Well, if all that's really true, then what is it used for?
Well, molasses can be used for a variety of things. One of the things it's most commonly used for is brown sugar, as well as the production of vinegar, citric acids, and other products that may require some acids or sweeteners, and them can also use as a non-calorie sweetener. Some people put it on their toast in the morning. They combine it with meals. It can be occasionally delicious. I personally do not prefer molasses, but I don't know about you.
Wow, that sounds really great. But can it kill people?
Yes, actually. Have you ever heard of the Boston flood of 1919?
Wow, I was just wondering about that. What is the Boston Molasses flood of 1919?
Well, as the name suggests, it did happen in Boston, Massachusetts in the year 1919. The United States Industrial Alcohol had operated the 2.5 million gallon molasses tank through its subsidiary company, Purity Distilling Company. The tank was built in 1915, but was known to have been built too quickly and would have made loud rattling noises in the area it was kept in that kept people really on edge. It increased in demand as it switched to grain alcohol, just as prohibition had begun to be proposed to Congress, and was in very high demand, obviously, as people were trying to get alcohol before government would outlaw that. The tank was considered absolutely necessary for those reasons. It delivered fermented products to weaponry as well for soldiers in World War I and across the seas. And it was, obviously, as I said earlier, very involved with commercial consumption. At around 12:30 p.m. on January 15th, the integrity of the tank was compromised, releasing a fury of sweet, sticky death. Allegedly, the waves destroyed multiple blocks, vehicles, buildings, and injured hundreds of people, killing 21. Many deaths were a result of suffocating from the syrup coating their lungs, much like drowning, but a lot scarier. The cleanup process lasted for many weeks, and it reportedly still smelled like molasses for decades.
Man, that's crazy. But just how did it happen? And who could have been behind all this?
Well, some had speculated that evil persons were behind the flood and the tank's sudden eruption, but there's no evidence suggesting that anyone was behind it. Experts analyzing the conditions of the flood published a report in 2016 that argue the tank most likely killed so many citizens as a result of weather conditions. The cold weather temperatures made the molasses syrup thicker and too dense to escape if buried in. Ultimately, all these deaths and all these injuries and all this damage that caused so many blocks to be completely desecrated would be addressed in court by 1925, and regulations would be made towards distilling industries that would ensure that they were under safe conditions, and that the ludicrous conditions that the 2.5 gallons or 2.5 million gallons of molasses were held in, which was a half-inch thick tin can, will never happen again, and our country will be safe from the fear of molasses.
Wow, John Green. That was a really awesome story, and I'm so glad to hear all about it. But now it seems I must return to my old bag of a wife. Goodbye. Oh my... Clarence! Clarence, come to the car!
Shut up, Margaret, you old woman who I hold very dear to my heart.